Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Market Breakdown, where we go over the Bitcoin and Ethereum charts. Uh, I have been slacking a little behind on XLM and the XRP charts, but I'll clear those off. I'll go over that once I'm able to kind of try to solidify some levels for you. But let's concentrate first on Bitcoin. As you can see, we rejected here. This is on the weekly. Let's zoom in on the daily. So what happened here, right? Last episode did go over this trend line. This is going to be a little bit of a sloppy trend line, but just to kind of go over it, we broke through, we came back for a retest, and then we failed. It did touch a little bit into the 46,000, right above 45,006. Certain exchanges probably went into 46,000, but we had some resistance here, right? This was the resistance up here. So what I did is I just drew a line across. I needed to see some kind of consolidation, and on top of that, we didn't get it, right? We failed the first time. We bounced off here, which was which was a good sign, and then we just kind of failed here again, and then we just kind of melted down. So what does that mean next? Well, did mention here, if we were to lose. If we did lose this area between 40 and 42,000, which I thought was pretty crucial to hold because it was support here, flip to resistance, then we could see some more downside towards $38,000, $39,000, which we did see, which we could see right now. This is on the daily chart. Now, if we did hold it here, we could have a relief rally up towards 41,000, 42,000 in change, and then a final little, dip into 35 to 36. 35 to $36,000 area. Okay, so the scenario would be 1, 2, or we can kind of consolidate here and then just drop. One of those two is possible, right? We just have, we also have to apply, the geopolitical issues or situations that's going on between Russia and Ukraine. The markets are extremely sensitive, so we do have to keep that in mind. But that doesn't stop the markets from continuing forth, whether it would have been bearish or bullish, right? That's what I like to go over. I don't really talk much about the news. I concentrate more on what the markets are doing or could do. I've been bearish, low time frame bearish, because just nothing about this screams bullish to me, right? This downward trend. We did break above here, kind of overextended too much, and then just that wiped out all the shorts. I think this right over here was just all a deviation. I think what we should have done is stay right here, short, and then, continue down. But this cleared out all the shorts, scared all the positions away, and now we're continuing down. So what happens next? Well, that would be my scenario, right? Either we go for a little bit of a relief rally up into the zone, reject, coming down, right? That was support, resistance, support again, retested, we broke through. Now we need some kind of retest to confirm that is now resistance. We can also, decide to consolidate here and then fall further. That would be the other scenario. Okay, so we have to keep those two scenarios in mind, right? We hold at these levels. Let me just zoom in a little bit. I just want to concentrate, right, on 3 to 4 levels, just so I'm not, overwhelming you with too much color on the screen. I changed this to purple because that was my desired zone to hit. Now let me just change that to green. Let me change this to red. You guys are already used to my colors, hopefully by now. Let me just change that to red, right? Because that's resistance. Right, so zooming in, we hold here, we could retest this area and then reject down, or we could kind of just melt down from here, retesting back into $35,000, $36,000 zone. Now there are lower zones down here, which I don't want to go over yet, but just keep in mind, there are some levels that do exist below. But we'll focus on those levels if and when the time comes. I just don't want to, again, overwhelm you too much. What I can say is that on the weekly level, you could see that we have another level here. Let me just, right, this would be a level here, right, from 31,000 to 33,000. We did retest it. We just tapped right into it, but again, we could go for a lower low, wipe out these positions here that went long, wipe out their stop losses, and then move up or move down. So right now, I don't want to concentrate too much on those. Let's just see on what's given to us, but just know that there are certain levels that we could potentially hit if the market still decides to go down, on the downward trend. All right, so let me just 3-day. Let's see if there's any clear picture. You can see that's a little clearer. That's why. Now you can see why it's important to kind of the daily does give you a nice picture. 3-day gives you a clearer picture. Right? See how that was a clean rejection here, and then we just kind of went for the retest and then rejected. We saw a whole bunch of shorters here. So, I always do recommend. I always do recommend people to kind of just look into more than just the daily, but less than the weekly, to give you a better picture. Also, I think I have a 2-day here. 2-day here is pretty good. It's almost the same as the daily, right? It's not too bad, but 3-day gives you a nice little picture. Okay, so that's it for Bitcoin. Still bearish. That's where we stand for now, right? Now, in order for us to kind of, in order for us to kind of resume higher, I'd like to see us to get above here, 47,000. I'd like to get above 47,000. As you can see, that was support flip to resistance that we broke, and I like to see something like this, right? And then we can resume higher. Doesn't necessarily mean we're resuming bullish, all the way up to 100K, but it is a small step in the right direction for now. If those levels can hold. For me, the big number would be somewhere about, the big number would be about 58,000. This is the big number. That would be, I know I'm jumping ahead of myself, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. But this right here would be the ultimate test, right? You can see how this would be important for us to get above, right? If we don't get above this, then it's possible that we can resume, in towards the bearish momentum, and that would be, sort of the ending of the bullish season. But again, don't want to predict the markets too much. So just keep that in mind, right? 56 to 58,000 is the level to keep in mind. So let's just go here. And let's move over to Ethereum. Ethereum, really clean chart, really clean levels. Let me just push this right back. Now let's zoom in. Last video I did mention that this was here would be a potential level to retest to get the shortest to come into play. We had support, broke from it. Now we had 2 retests, and we finally rejected a couple days ago. Okay, that was the trigger for the shorts to come in. They probably set their stop loss right above here at 3,400, which is kind of high, but as you can see, the risk to reward ratio kind of played out for them. Okay, so what happens here? Well, here we can either bounce from this area. I would assume a lot of there was a couple of short coverings here, which means people closing up their short positions, which applies a little bit of buying pressure. So what would happen here is we could get a relief, again, just like Bitcoin, we could have a relief rally around these levels, right? Let me just get a rectangle here. We could have a relief rally towards 28 to 2,900. So another 3, probably back to 3 grand, right? Which also coincides with this trend line, this downward trend line. So we have right back up here. Again, they probably would load up on their shorts again and continue towards $2,300. Or the other scenario would be we just fall straight to 2,500 and then to 2,300. Right? So both scenarios would be fall down here, reaccumulate, go short again, come back down, creating the lower low, come back up, and again it'll just continue on until it really does cleanly break the trend line and stay above 3,400. For me, $3,400 is the number, right? So let me just kind of paint that picture here. This would be the area here. I like to be above this level to kind of resume higher. So the market has a lot of repair to go through. Okay, so just keep that in mind. 3 grand would be probably another opportunity for bears to come in, short the market again, and then they would probably ride that down towards $2,300, $2,100. All right. So again, bearish, just like Bitcoin, and you can see on the 3-day it's a lot cleaner, right? Trend line's a little bit sloppy. Let's see what the 5-day gives us. 5-day, same thing. Right? I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, not a big huge on the trend lines, but you can see that there's a downward trend, right? So we're going to keep that here. We can see the levels below us. So what levels do we have here? We have 2,500, right? So we have 2,500. It's right down towards 2,300. And then we have 2,200, and then we have a little area down here towards sub $2,000 levels. But let's not get too ahead. Let's just concentrate on the levels we have in front of us, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to go over. Still bearish. We're gonna get a couple of bearish retests and possibly go lower. And in order for us to flip bias, I'd like to see us get above the $3,300, $3,400 level. Right, so just like Bitcoin has a lot of repair to get above 47,000, Ethereum has a lot of work to do. We need to get above here. Wherever this would stop, let's just say it stops here. We need to get above here, flip that to support, and then resume. And then we'll take it from there. We'll see exactly what the market gives us at that point as well. The level here for me, that we do have to go over, which would be a big obstacle. A big obstacle for us would be, right at the 4 grand level. If it's a possibility that someone, people out there who just got in and they're just like, wow, I would really like to kind of cash out my position. If I ever get back to 4 grand or close to 4 grand, that's where I'll cash out. Rightfully so. So we'll see exactly where the market ends, but it has a lot of work to do to get to 4 grand. And that's it. Just wanted to, give you guys a little insight on what I see in the markets. The trend is still, the trend is your friend, right? So we see that the trend is down. But I wanted to thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Please like and subscribe. If there are any comments, questions, please leave them in the comment section below. And just wanted to thank you again, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you.